Good evening, welcome to Friday night's calendar.
Good evening, here are tonight's main stories.
You need to jump! Jump!
A family's heartbreak. The parents of a 3-year-old boy speak out after an inquest highlights failings before he died from sepsis.
We were meant to be applying for his school place in December, but instead of that, we were planning his funeral.
We've the details and reaction from Chesterfield, also tonight.
Can the Blades finally win the richest game in football? We'll be off to Wembley.
Thousands of fans are preparing to descend on Wembley to see if Sheffield United can reach the promised land of the Premier League.
I'll have, of course, your bank holiday weekend weather forecast, as well as a little look ahead to next week's half term. And
as one of the world's most loved musicals lands in Bradford, we find out why it's quite the homecoming for one of the team.
Hello, first tonight, an inquest jury has ruled that neglect in the medical care of a 3-year-old boy from Derbyshire who was suffering from sepsis contributed to his death.
3-year-old Oscar Neelings from Chesterfield was rushed to hospital in November 2023 and died later that day.
Today, an inquest determined he died from natural causes contributed to by neglect.
Emma Hayward has been following this inquest for us today. What exactly happened, Emma?
Well, Laura and Ian, inside the coroner's court there was a framed photograph of Oscar, a reminder that at the heart of this case, a little boy whose life was tragically cut short. And today an inquest jury ruled that neglect in his medical care contributed to his death. Now, Oscar had been to an out-of-hours doctor twice in the last few days of his life, and when his condition deteriorated, he went to another practice who then called an emergency ambulance. Now, he was taken to the Royal Chesterfield Hospital and he arrived around 10:30 in the morning, but it would be more than 2 hours until he received the antibiotics that he needed to fight off the sepsis infection, and that was in part due to a prescribing error. Now, the ruling also found that there was an insufficient handover between the medical teams looking after Oscar. Now, today, after the verdict, his mum spoke to us on the steps here.
Our darling little boy was taken away from us and he can't come back. We long for our life to be how it was, but have to adapt to this new normal, carry on and carry Oscar with us.
And what has the hospital trust had to say, Emma?
Well, Laura, today Chesterfield Royal Hospital NHS Foundation Trust offered their sincere condolences and said they'd submitted a full learning review and will continue to take action to learn and improve. But a year and a half after Oscar's death, I think his family still have many questions about what happened to the little boy.
Emma Hayward in Chesterfield for us, thank you.
Well, Oscar's family is calling for greater awareness of the dangers of sepsis.
Sally Lee Simpson has been speaking to his parents, Stephanie and Mark, at their home in Chesterfield about that and the void his death has left in their family.
You need to jump! Jump!
He was a ball full of energy. He would run everywhere. He was just so fun-loving and everyone loved him. He was this bright, blonde-haired, blue-eyed little boy. He'd get so many compliments out and about. And it's so hard to believe that he's gone, and I don't think that I actually do believe that.
It's not just Oscar's mum and dad who've been left to grieve his loss. His older brother Maxwell and younger sister Poppy are now missing their sibling.
We've both got this amazing mask that we put on. It cover everything with a smile and the positives, when really no one can understand, unless they've been through similar, what is actually going on inside.
We live and breathe this every minute of the day, and that is how our lives are.
Yeah, he should have been starting the school in September. We were meant to be applying for his school place in December, but instead of that, we were planning his funeral.
Stephanie and Mark are now focusing on ensuring another tragedy like theirs doesn't happen to someone else.
What do you want to happen going forward?
A recognition of sepsis and how drastically things can change. Awareness in hospitals.
Despite having all but one of the symptoms associated with sepsis, Oscar's misdiagnosis was fatal. His parents hope his memory will live on and serve as a reminder to be vigilant in the face of childhood illness.
If the general public are aware and they can actually go into a medical environment and say, could this be sepsis, and actually use the word, so as soon as it's out there, then it gets other people thinking. I cannot believe that this is our life.
And our thanks to Stephanie and Mark for sharing their story with us. There's more on this on our website. It's at the usual address, itv.com/calendar.
In other news tonight, a jury has been told a 4x4 driver murdered a young mother by ramming the electric motorcycle she was riding on in a deliberate, targeted running down. 25-year-old Alana Armstrong died at the scene of the collision on a country lane in Plesley near Mansfield last November. She was travelling on the back of an e-motorbike driven by her boyfriend. He survived but had to have his leg amputated. The trial heard how Keaton Muldoon chased and repeatedly rammed the bike before driving off and arranging to swap his vehicle. He denies murder and the trial continues.
A 19-year-old man who fled the country after shooting and injuring a man in a busy Leeds street last summer has been jailed. Mohammed Shakil Malik shot a 27-year-old in the chest on Steinbeck Road following an earlier altercation. The court heard he fled the scene and then the country to Bangkok after he was identified as a suspect. He pleaded guilty to wounding with intent and was handed an extended sentence of 18 years.
This is Friday night's calendar, and still to come before 6:30. We'll be in Scunthorpe, where they're getting ready for a party and an open-top bus tour. Plus,
bringing a show like this is always magical coming back to Bradford.
We meet the man who's taking a step back in time as Mary Poppins flies into the Alhambra.
And are we going to have to borrow Mary Poppins' brolly for this weekend's weather forecast? All the detail a little later on.
Now, what a weekend we have in store when it comes to South Yorkshire sport. Sheffield United are hoping to end their torrid playoff record by winning the richest game in football and promotion to the Premier League.
and Terry Harper is defending her boxing world title in her home city of Doncaster. That all means it's a busy day for our sports team. Chris is ringside in South Yorkshire. But let's start down south and cross to Arif, who's already at Wembley Stadium, and it's an absolutely massive game tomorrow. Arif, just how big is this for the Blades?
Oh, this is massive for Sheffield United, Ian. They're just one win away from the Premier League. And let me tell you that this place is going to be a sea of red and white tomorrow afternoon. Thousands of fans are going to stream down Wembley Way and then up these famous Wembley steps and into the ground for the Championship playoff final against Sunderland. Of them thousands of fans is 7-year-old Chopsy. Now, she's been following the Blades home and away with her dad Mick for years, and they are desperate to see the Blades win at Wembley. She's the 7-year-old Sheffield United superfan. Chopsy gives them her support, they give her their shirts, and she's taken to one player in particular.
Ryan Brewster, because he's very sweet and kind to everybody. He just runs and does everything he can, and he's just very good.
I just can't get it up! I just can't get it up! Chopsy was just out of nappies when she started following the Blades home and away with her dad Mick. A special bond built between father and daughter.
You can't put into words how much it means as a parent to not only see her happy doing something that I'm so passionate about, but to have that quality time together up on the road, wherever we go, in tying in all different sports or activities while we're out and about. Yeah, you can't put into words how much it means. It's fabulous.
It's just so important because I've been going for years and years, so now I won't stop.
Chopsy, her dad, or any of her family in fact, have never seen the Blades win at Wembley. You have to go back 100 years to the 1925 FA Cup final for that, when there were captions rather than commentary. And their playoff record isn't much better.
And Sheffield United's playoff agonies continue. Every time it has ended in tears.
United have never been promoted through the playoffs in 9 attempts.
And it's saved by Samba!
For boyhood Blade and current head coach Chris Wilder, this is a chance to write a new chapter in their history.
Our playoff record, that's not touched us one bit. One single ounce of that has not gone into my thinking or the players' thinking. They're ultra positive, they're focused, they're excited as well.
The way you play football, really, they're the best days. And if it goes our way, it'll be something you remember for the rest of your life. So I feel like if we play well, we've got a good chance of winning. So yeah, if we just focus on ourselves and hopefully we can do it for everyone and break that curse, yeah.
Is Sheffield United going to win at Wembley?
Yeah.
How special would it be to see them win at Wembley?
It would be so special because it'll be my first time seeing them win a trophy at Wembley.
Bouncing up to the Premier League would be worth over £200 million to the club. But all Chopsy cares about is seeing Sheffield United winning at Wembley.
Come on, Blades!
Oh, she's brilliant, isn't she? Now, Arif, some fans have made quite the journey to be there, haven't they?
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, Lara. A few more miles then, South Yorkshire is my next guest now. Noah, he's come all the way from America, flew in this morning. Noah, great to see you. I guess this is just one game you just could not miss.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this has been a dream of mine since I was like 20 and I started supporting the club. To see your club in a final at Wembley is the absolute dream. So it's a pleasure to be here.
And we know the playoff record isn't great. 100 years since your last one at Wembley. It's time for that to end now, isn't it?
Absolutely. And if there's any manager who can do it, it's Chris Wilder. I think that everybody knows he's got experience here and he's going to get it done for us.
How are you feeling the night before the game? Nervous, excited, both?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Yeah, like I said, our record's not great at Wembley, but at the same time, I think we're going to do it this time. It has to be, absolutely.
I'm going to push you for a quick prediction. What do you think it's going to? How do you think it's going to go?
Yeah, it's going to be 2-1 to United. The Blades are going to go up 2-0 after about like 60 minutes. Sunderland will pull one back. It'll be nervous the last 30-ish minutes, but we're going to get it done.
Let's hope you're right. Thank you very much for joining as well. It's going to be a big night for Sheffield United tomorrow afternoon. Let's hope they can do it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Arif, there. Now let's head from North London to South Yorkshire ahead of a big night of boxing.
Hometown hero Terry Harper is defending her world title. And Chris Dawkes is at the Eco Power Stadium for us now. And Chris, it's been a good couple of weeks for Doncaster, hasn't it?
You're not wrong there, Ian. Yes, we've just heard about Sheffield United keen to complete their promotion. Well, Doncaster had theirs wrapped up some weeks ago, and as you can see behind me, they've completely transformed the pitch since when we were last here. They've replaced the posts with ropes, and you know, the last time they hosted live boxing here was back in 2013. I was actually here that night as well to see Jamie McDonnell win his world title. Well, Terry Harper is defending hers tonight, and she told me she's keen to put on a show for her fans.
And the new WBO lightweight champion of the world, Terry Harper.
I've experienced everything in my career and this is like cherry on top. I think it's every fighter's dream to be able to headline at the home stadium, and I want to go out there on the night and put on a great performance for everyone.
Terry Harper is proud to be from Doncaster. Doncaster is proud of Terry Harper. But tonight, those at the Eco Power Stadium might just see a different Terry Harper.
One of the biggest themes of this camp has been trying to bring out that nastiness. You do need it in boxing because it's a combat sport, and you're going to see that in this fight.
I think that's really what's got the local people behind me, and they can just see that I'm just a nice, down-to-earth girl, hopefully. But yeah, you can't be nice in this game, really.
Well, Terry might be one of the biggest names in British boxing, but she comes from humble beginnings. Before she was beating up opponents in the boxing ring, she was battering fish at the local chippy. Now, this place has seen better days, but Terry hopes her best are still to come.
I've collected world titles at different weights, but now I've really found my weight division and I want to go on and be the queen of this division, so got to go out there and fight the best, and it's just going to lead to big mega fights and a great night for boxing.
And a victory over Natalie Zimmerman at the Eco Power will make it a great night for Terry and for Doncaster. Well, you know what, this fight isn't a given. Terry isn't infallible. Her victory over Leanne Dixon last September to win the WBO title was her first in 3 fights, and her opponent Natalie Zimmerman from Germany has won all her professional fights, 13 wins from 13 bouts. But if Terry was to get through this one tonight unscathed, she has told me it is her ambition one day to fight in America, so you never know, it could be soon. Bye-bye Donny, hello Vegas.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? Thanks very much indeed. Chris Dorks there for us in Doncaster. So good luck to the Blades and good luck to Terry. Now then, Rotherham singer-songwriter Self-Esteem, whose real name is Rebecca Lucy Taylor, has won the Visionary Award at last night's Ivor Novello Awards.
This year, she brought out her 3rd album, A Complicated Woman. She credits her success to music education and is calling for more funding to schools.
I had drum lessons, and then that's why it's so stressful to think about that being taken away, because everything I did was for free through school, and I had an amazing teacher that stayed behind after school.
Yes, let's big up those teachers out there. Brilliant role models for children. And talking of children, when Mr. Banks was searching for a nanny to look after his high-spirited children, he struck gold when Mary Poppins walked in.
Sure did, didn't they? Well, it's a much-loved story, and the stage adaptation has been a hit all over the world. Over 15 million people have enjoyed the show, and now it's at Bradford's Alhambra.
And for the production's company manager, bringing the show to the city is something quite special. Sarah Clark has been for a look behind the scenes.
One of the world's most famous nannies has arrived, not at Cherry Tree Lane, but here at the Alhambra Theatre in Bradford, bringing with her practically perfect choreography, incredible sets and those unforgettable songs.
It really is such an amazing responsibility to take on, and I'm sure we'd be lying if we said we weren't a bit nervous. You know, these characters are so beloved and so iconic, and the story is so nostalgic for so many, but we know we're doing it justice. It's just a beautiful show. And this theatre is absolutely stunning. It's definitely one of the most beautiful we've seen on tour so far, and we're just so excited to introduce the show to Bradford audiences.
Fan favourite number is definitely Step in Time, which is a huge ensemble dance number of tap dancing and dancing upside down, and yeah, that tends to be a big favourite.
Fully automated houses and flying nurseries, just some of the spectacular scenery, helping the 140 cast and crew bring the stage show to life, under the watchful eye of company director Neil White.
It's amazing. I did my work experience from school here 40 years ago, and my first professional job was here, and this is my first time back since the pandemic, so bringing a show like this is always magical coming back to Bradford. I think because there is so much magic in the show, it transports everyone back to their favourite memories of it. But also, this isn't just a film on stage, it's very much an adaptation of the books as well, so there's a lot more story, but also we can do things on stage that you can't do, in cinema, and it's just magic, really.
The show runs until the end of June. Sarah Clark, ITV News, Bradford.
But can you spell it?
I can say it backwards. It's a classic, isn't it?
It's great, isn't it? Yeah.
So, Keza, any need for an umbrella like Mary Poppins?
Yeah, but you'd have to hold on to it very tightly. It's going to be quite gusty on Sunday especially, been hinting over the last few days, maybe 40 plus miles an hour if you're sort of Pennine walking or anything. So it's not a washout or anything, but yes, noticeably so, because of course we've been under high pressure. So we've had little to no wind apart from directly at the coast. There was little to no wind overnight last night under those clear skies. We did get a chilly one. There was a frost. Bainbridge was our lowest at -1.5. So we did get that frost and it was a very cold start. But this photograph from Ian was taken at 5:30 a.m. and by around 8 or 9 when most of us were setting off to work, it felt lovely, the sun. It felt quite nice and warm. This was Sands End this afternoon. Absolutely glorious. We've been talking about wind. There's been a nagging onshore breeze over the past week or so for the coast. You will notice the difference tomorrow. It won't exist, and we're looking at 19s or 20s. So when it is actually bright, it will be nice. The Met Office released some stats today. Days without rain, consecutive days out of rain. Bradford, Bingley and Sheffield 31 days. So basically the entire month with any no recorded rain from the Met Office. That will change over the weekend, but we're starting to see differences, aren't we? I've been talking about the reservoirs. I want to show you this photograph from the National Trust Archives of Clumber House in North Nottinghamshire. It was taken in 1936. By 1938, it was demolished, but over the past week, you started to see the lines of the foundations and the gardens because of the incredibly dry weather that we've been having. So it's basically the soil consistency depending on how much moisture is in there. So you get the differences and you can really notice the difference there. So that's really interesting from the National Trust, and thanks for sharing. But yes, things have been a little bit thirsty over the past few days. This Buzzy Bee has been thirsty, and also this Jay. I think the water baths will indeed be filling up over the next few days. Weather photos at ITV.com.
Finally from us to a night of celebrations in Scunthorpe after its football team secured promotion back to the National League.
Yes, it's actually been a pretty good few weeks for the town. Firstly, after years of uncertainty, the future of its famous steelworks was finally secured.
Then the Iron, who took their name from it, took a big step back towards the Football League proper with a last gasp winner in their playoff final.
Well, tonight's party is underway, and I know a man who likes a good party or two. Fraser is there for us right now. Fraser, how's it going?
Oh, it's fantastic. Hundreds of people have turned out, and while all eyes were on the steel industry, the Iron were going about their business of getting promotion back into the fifth tier of English football. Andy Butler and his men made us wait for it, though, making us wait until extra time in the playoff final against Chester to seal promotion. Today they're celebrating with an open-top bus tour, set off about an hour and a bit ago. It's due back here in the next half hour or so to continue with the celebrations. All the more amazing considering the club was nearly without a ground, nearly out of business just a year or so ago. So today, great celebration for the manager and for the club's owners.
It's kind of dream come true, really, isn't it? Because I was thinking, we could have lost a party on the pitch, but no, it's an amazing. I don't think it's really ever really sank in, has it? Because I was out till 2 or 3 in the morning, and we're here 10 a.m. the next day, planning for today. So it truly is a great celebration to be involved in, for sure. Yeah.
For the town, I mean, with what British Steel have gone through, what we've gone through, now to see, some light at the end of the tunnel for both parties, really, the outcomes, a winner.
This time last year, we didn't think we'd have a club, and then to mark the 125th anniversary with a promotion, it was written, really. So yeah, it's hopefully a step in the right direction. There's going to be small steps before we keep going, but obviously we'll try as hard as to do everything we can.
It's great to see the team heading off on the coach with the flares going, the fans cheering, lots of claret and blue everywhere, and it's a double celebration. This is a stadium weekender they're having here at Glanford Park this weekend. Lots of local talent, lots of big name acts as well coming in to celebrate the 125th anniversary of Scunthorpe United. As I say, almost out of business just a year or so ago. Today they've come fighting back. This is a town that's been through so much in the last few months, in the last couple of years, in terms of the steel industry, in terms of the woes of Scunthorpe United almost going out of business. But this is a resilient town. They have bounced back in fine style, and it's great to see the fans coming out here for a whole weekend effectively of celebrations of the club that's provided that real boost when the steel industry was in trouble. The club here has seen them through, and now the whole town, steel and iron, can celebrate in style.
Very good. Yes, indeed. Thanks very much indeed. Fraser Moore there in Scunthorpe for us. And Lara, isn't it great to just see people smiling in Scunthorpe?
I was just about to say to you, a real feel-good factor in Scunthorpe tonight. It's wonderful.
That's brilliant. Well, let's hope the weather makes us feel good too. Let's get the forecast for the bank holiday weekend now. Here's Kerry.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Yes, it was a shame today's weather conditions weren't setting the scene for the long weekend. Beautiful out there this afternoon, even with some patchy cloud. Winster in the Peak District, a big thank you to Stuart Slynn, and this great shots of Knaresborough. A big thank you to Jax, Baz and Elsie the sausage dog from Doncaster. So today we had that slice of sunshine, yes, a little bit of fair weather cloud for the afternoon, and yes, over the last hour or so, some higher cloud pushing in from the west, all ahead of this system that is going to move through overnight tonight. So we start off relatively dry with some clear spells, but it does go increasingly downhill through the night with outbreaks of rain, some heavy pulses within that pushing eastwards, and some hill fog developing into the early hours. A massive contrast to last night's temperatures. Most of us will stay in double figures. A mild start as we head through into tomorrow. 4:51 and 9:15 are your Saturday sun times. A murky old start over the hills, cloudy and damp first thing tomorrow. But the rain band pushes its way eastwards and it becomes a little drier and brighter for a time. It's definitely not cold, it's on the warm side. Definitely feeling warmer out towards the coast. But eventually towards late afternoon, early evening, there will be another area of rain that works its way in. Behind that, as we head into Sunday, setting the scene for the rest of the long weekend, sunshine, scattered blustery showers from the west, the further south and east you are, the drier conditions potentially as we head into the second half of the weekend, and feeling a little fresher, temperatures nearer normal at 16 or 17. Do be aware of those strong winds, particularly over high grounds and out towards the coast on Sunday. Could be gusts in excess of 40 miles an hour. And then thereafter, a spell of rain perhaps the second half of Tuesday, but hopefully then settling down a little bit.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather. Making the most of summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
Sarah Freeman said that if you just stood amongst these wild lupins, you could hear the buzzing of the bees. The good news with the mixed forecast over the next few days is that the pollen count will be low. There you go, a little bit of rain topping up the bird baths, but it's not all bad news.
Do you know what I saw today? A little fledgling.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just learning to fly.
They're on their way out. Oh.
Bless them. Have a lovely bank holiday weekend, whatever you're doing. From us all, good night. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.